it's Jocelyn over at Lister Physical Therapy. Today we're going to be doing a quick stretching routine that you can use a belt, or this is a yoga strap. It's got little loops on it, or you can also use a long sheet, or if you have like a resistance band that's strong enough, you can use that as well. Anything that will allow us to wrap around our foot or leg and do that way. So first we're going to just start with a simple hamstring stretch. I'm going to show you two variations for most of these stretches, and I want you to choose the one that's best for you and do that while I perform the other one. So today we're going to do hamstring stretch first. So sitting on a bed or on the floor, we're going to have our legs out in front of us. You sit up nice and tall. That is key here to protecting that back. And the movement is going to be going forward from the hips. So it's kind of like you're lifting that chest up to lean forward, and then you can support yourself with your hands out in front of you. So that is the first one. Legs straight out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall, moving forward from the hips, supporting with the hands. Second option is with the yoga strap. We can lay on back. Take this yoga strap and loop it. So we put a little loop through here, as you can see, to grab the foot width. So you can put this around the arch or maybe the top of the toes. And then you'll probably want to start down low if you can't quite get your leg all the way up. The key is to keep that leg nice and straight. And then as you lift that leg up, you should feel a stretch coming in behind the leg here and your hamstrings. And we're going to hold stretches for 2 times for 30 seconds. And I'm going to be counting for this, so I will be talking the whole time during this video, so you can play some music or something over. If you find that 30 seconds is too long, maybe it's starting to get very uncomfortable, then just take a rest. You know, let's increase our time as we start to feel better with these stretches. All right, so we're going to take a break in between each one, and then we're going to lift that leg back up for a second, 30-second stretch. The good thing about these yoga loops is you can kind of hold on to them in that little loop. Then we'll lower that back down. I want to encourage you while we're stretching here to really just breathe. Take some good deep breaths. We're going to switch feet. Or if you've been doing where you sit up straight, then you can go ahead and stretch one more time with us. So leg is coming up straight. Remember, if we got a bend in the leg, we're not stretching those hamstrings anymore, so that leg needs to be straight. If you can't get it all the way up here, that's fine. You get it to where you feel a good stretch behind that leg, and you stay there for 30 seconds. We'll let that leg down one more time. If you've been sitting up straight, if you are enjoying that, you can try one more stretch, or you can just wait until we're done with this last one. So last time on this left leg, or right, whichever one you did this time. And then we can take that loop off. All right, the next stretch, we're going to do adductor stretches, which is the inside of your legs. I'm going to show you 2 variations. You do whichever whichever one you feel best with. If you are very tight, you might just enjoy the frog stretch. And the frog stretch is with your feet together facing each other, letting those legs open up wide. And the key here is to let the legs relax into this position. So if you're actively holding them up, then you're using the muscles that you're trying to stretch. So if you find that you can't quite relax, what I want you to do is stick some pillows underneath your legs so that you have something you can relax down onto, and just let those legs lay out nice and relaxed, okay? So if this is the variation that you like, this is a frog stretch. The next variation is taking both of those feet up, and this is if you have good hamstrings too, taking both of those feet up, and then you're gonna open those legs up. So you should feel a pretty good stretch in here, and that's why I was saying if you're really tight, you might want to stick with the frog stretch. So I'm gonna just do the frog stretch today. Feet are together, legs are opened up, and we're gonna sit here for 30 seconds, remembering to take good breaths. Good. You can help lift those legs back up with your hands if you want to. And then we'll give it just a second, and then let's go ahead and stretch again. Feet are together, legs open up wide. Feel a good stretch through the inside of the thighs there. And you can use those hands, or you can lift those legs back up. The next stretch that we're going to do is a bit of a back stretch and a little bit of an opener in the chest. So we're going to lay on our side. We're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. So I'm on my right side. Our hands are going out in front of us, kind of like they're a book. And then you're going to open up that top arm back behind you, so you're kind of opening up as if you were a book. You should feel a good stretch in the chest and maybe some in the mid-back. So there's no variation to this one. Just try this one out. And we're gonna sit here for 30 seconds. Try to keep those legs down on the mat or the bed, and this chest, you're kind of letting it open up. So you're getting a bit of a twist in the spine. 10 more seconds. Good, and then we're gonna close back up. Then we'll try that again. Open that arm up. If you want a bit more of a chest stretch, you can kind of reach that arm up behind you, more towards the head than straight out. That might increase that chest stretch just a little bit for you. Good, close that back up. Now you're just gonna roll over onto the other side. I'm gonna sit up and switch sides so that you can still see me. All right, so we're gonna have our arms out in front of us, knees are bent, resting on the bed or the floor. Open those arms up like you're a book cover, and you should feel a stretch in the chest and through the back.
close those arms back up. And then we'll do it one more time. Open up. Good. Now we're going to close up. The next stretch that we're going to do is called a figure four. It's kind of a pure formus glute stretch. And then I'm going to give you the two variations, just like I said I would. What you're going to do is you're going to have your knees bent with your feet resting on the floor. You're going to pick up one of those feet and rest that ankle on top of the knee of the other leg, okay? And then if you can either use your hands to reach through that four that you just made with your legs and grab that leg that's resting on the floor and pull that up towards your chest. You should feel a stretch through here and maybe in the bottom. If you want to try to use your yoga strap or your belt or something, you basically are just going to thread this through the four onto the outside of that leg. Make it go up, and then you're going to pull your leg up to where it needs to be. You can then take your hand, your free hand, and push down on that knee that's making the four, and that'll increase the stretch a bit. Or if you've got your hands laced through, you can push down with your elbow. So I've got my four here, my hands go through, my elbow is going to push down against that knee there. All right, so that's the first variation. The second variation is you're going to be sitting up on the side of the bed or on the couch, or if you've been in the floor. You're going to have both feet resting on the floor to begin with, and then you're going to take that ankle, cross it over. It's the same stretch, just in a different position. You're going to take your hand on that four and gently push it down away from you. Sit up nice and tall. You're moving forward from the hips, so you lean forward over that lap. And we're going to sit here for 30 seconds for whichever one you chose. Sit away or sit up with that one, rest for a second. I just want to point out my socks have bunnies that are blowing bubbles on them. They're really cute. All right, hand pushing that knee away, sitting up nice and tall, moving forward from the hips. Lean forward over your lap. I want you to kind of lean forward equally over that lap, so I don't want you leaning one way or the other. I want you to go straight over. Sit on up and let's switch sides. So now that my right ankle is going to sit up on top of my left leg, I'm going to push my right knee down and I'm going to lean forward over that lap. Time. Leaning
And then we're going to do our cat-cow position. So on the floor or on the bed, whichever one you've been working on, you're gonna get onto all fours. So hands and knees are gonna be spread about hips width apart. And we're going to do a cat. So we're gonna arch our back up and we're gonna look down at our knees. So back goes up, head goes down. And then we're gonna look forward and we're gonna drop our belly down kind of like a cow's udders. So if you can visualize you becoming a cow, looking up, dropping the belly down, and then a cat arching its back and looking down at your knees. For this one, we're not gonna hold for 30 seconds. We're just gonna run through it a few times. We'll go about 6 or 7 times here. So go ahead and start cat, looking down at the knees, and then drop that belly and look forward as a cow. And then you're gonna drop your head and arch that back up. And then arch the back down, dropping that belly and looking up with the head. Cat. And cow. And then a cat again. And cow. And let's do that one more time. Let's do cat. And cow. Very good. All right. So the next one that we're going to try is it's child's pose. And so the ultimate goal is going to be having your knees spread. You're going to sit back on those feet. And then you're going to be able to walk those hands out in front of you and drop that chest down. If you can't quite reach that just yet, and you need to be sitting up tall, sit back just a little bit, walk those hands out, and then dropping that chest down. All right, so we're going to do that when you go wherever you can. If you're up like this, you may not want to hold it for as long, but you hold it as long as you can. Otherwise, we're going to hold this for 2 times for 30 seconds. So the arms are really reaching out in front of us. Our chest is dropping, and we're going to rest our forehead down on the floor. Again, we can be up like this, those knees more open. You can try it on the elbows. It's not going to give you quite as good of a stretch. Good. Then you can walk those hands back up, kind of to all fours again. And then we'll do that stretch one more time. So we're going to walk those hands out. Again, just dropping down to the elbows if that's what you'd like to do. Or walking those arms out even further. Dropping the chest down and the forehead to the floor. Back up to sitting with our hands on all fours. All right, we're going to do a quad stretch. If you're super tight, we're going to be sitting up on our knees just like this. And I want you to try to sit up as tall as possible. Don't be leaning forward. Try to sit up as tall as you possibly can. And then you're going to sit back on those knees just a little bit. If you need to do this next to a wall or the bed or something, so that as you lean back you can support yourself with your hand. But if you're going back far enough that you're almost sitting down on your knees, then we can do the next variation. But for the person I'm making this video for, this is the variation we settled on. So knees sitting up nice and tall, and then we're kind of leaning back into those knees. You should feel a good stretch through those quads, the front of your leg here. If you're starting to get pretty good at that one, or if you're already to the point where you can do this one, we can try on our stomach or on our side. We can lay on our side. We're gonna bend this knee up, so as you can see, I bent my knee to where my foot is behind me. We're gonna try to reach behind and grab that foot, but this is gonna be a good stretch for you. So you might want to grab your yoga strap. Go ahead and wrap that around the ankle and close it up. And then you can pull that leg where you'd like it for a good stretch. Same thing if you're gonna do it on your belly, you get it into the same position, wrapped around the ankle, and then you just flip over to that belly, and then you got your straps here, and you're just pulling it to stretch that quad. So we're gonna do that here, 30 seconds. Good. And then we'll release for a moment, let that quad relax. And then we'll pull it back into that stretch. So pulling on those straps. And then we're gonna relax that leg down. All right. So I'm gonna flip over. You stay where you are. I'm just gonna show you how I'm getting into this position again. I'm laying on my side. I've got my yoga strap, and I'm gonna wrap it around my ankle here, just like that. All right. So we're laying on our side. We're gonna wrap our yoga strap or our belt or our sheet around our ankle. And then we're gonna pull it behind us. So you can, just like I showed you, you can have this, and then I'm gonna pull it up and over my shoulder. So I'm kind of twisting it around. You can lay on your side like this and pull that knee up, so you're stretching that quad. Or you can go ahead and roll over to the belly, and then you're going to pull that knee, or that foot up towards your bottom. So you're stretching the front of the leg there. And another thing, if you are super tight and you aren't really liking the one where you're sitting up on your knees, you could just try pulling that knee up and letting the weight of the foot pull that knee down. That might be enough of a stretch for you. If you can reach back there and grab the leg, then you can pull it down. There's only a few ways to stretch quads, but we'll give you a few options here. All right, so we did 30 seconds there. You can rest now. And I just lost my yoga strap. This might be where you want to loop it around. All right, let's do one last stretch there. final stretch, we're gonna do a calf stretch. I'm gonna stand on this, pretend like it's on the floor, but you can go walk over to a wall and do the same stretch. Or you can also stand on a stair and have your heels hanging off the stairs, keeping those legs straight. But this is the stretch that I'm gonna show you. So I think my head will go out of frame, but you can see my feet still. You're gonna walk over to a wall. The front leg is gonna be bent, and the back leg is gonna be straight. And then you're going to lean forward, so you should feel a good stretch through your calf muscle on that back leg. So you're leaning forward, and we're gonna hold that. And so you're using this wall for support if you'd like. And I'll also show you real quick, if you are sitting down on the chair, you could try where you send that leg on the outside back and then leaning forward. So then you're supported on that chair, but you're stretching that calf muscle. I don't think that my leg feet are showing this one, but another variation you could do is grab that strap or your sheet, anything, wrap it around those toes and pull them up towards your face. So you're pulling those toes up towards your face, kind of leaning forward just a hair. And you can do both of these at the same time if you're doing it like this. So if you're choosing to stretch just like this, 2 times for 30 seconds. So let's do it 1 foot at a time. So you can wrap that strap around that foot here at the top of the foot and pull the toes back towards your face, sitting up nice and tall. You should feel a good stretch behind the leg here. You can use a sheet for this as well if you've been using a sheet. Good, relax off of that. And we'll do that one more time. Pulling those toes towards your nose. This is where it might be good to do it off the stairs as we did, where the stairs here, and then your foot is about hanging off halfway, and you drop those heels down, and that the way your body weight can do the work of the stretch as opposed to pulling with your strap. So. Good, and relax. And then we'll switch the strap over, or we'll switch feet on the stairs. Good, relax off that. And we'll do that one more time. Pull those toes towards your nose. Relax off that. Alright, there's a little stretching sequence for the lower body and the back a little bit. So if you have any problems with that, just let me know next appointment and we can go over any of those stretches that were difficult, or we can try it a different way or something. So, alright, see you later.